Saikrishna Prakash, a law professor at the University of Virginia, who joins us now from Charlottesville. Professor, thanks so much for your time. What have been the main differences between the impeachment trial in the Senate and a trial that would be taking place in a courtroom?
Well, the Senate doesn't need to follow all the requirements that ordinary courts follow. The Senate procedures are both political and legal. And so we don't see all the procedures that we would normally see in a judicial trial.
In the eyes of the law, has it been a fair trial?
Well, the eyes of the law aren't really peering into the Senate chambers. This is really a matter of dispute, of opinion. And of course, the Democrats are upset with the procedures the Senate has adopted, and President Trump and the Republicans are quite happy. I think if you believe the president committed an impeachable offense, you will be rather unhappy with the outcome. And if you believe that the Democrats have pursued a partisan impeachment, you will be very happy with the outcome.
Okay, we've known all along, of course, that there's a political issue here, and that even the judge from the Supreme Court who's overseeing procedures is not really there to impose the law. But still, how strange was it to you that before the trial began, the defense, the Republicans, were saying Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, that he'll be working step in step with the White House, the incumbent of which is, in legal terms, the defendant in the trial?
I think it was a very bad thing to say, but I think both senators from both parties before the trial began announced how they were going to vote before any presentation of evidence or before any witnesses might have been called. And I think this just reflects the fact that the president is a party leader and that partisans on both sides have to really think long and hard about what they're going to do. That is to say, the Democrats are predisposed to convict the Republican Party leader, and Republicans are obviously predisposed to defend their party leader. And so when you say it was predetermined, that's precisely why it was. I think in order to impeach a president, you need a tremendous amount of evidence and a tremendous amount of wrongdoing, because the Senate, the Constitution requires a 2/3 supermajority, which is almost impossible to secure on any matter.
What about the non-appearance now of witnesses, given what John Bolton, the former national security advisor, is supposed to have written in his book? And he's saying, Bolton, that as far as he's concerned, Donald Trump definitely tried to withhold military aid to Ukraine in exchange for a political favor. The favor, of course, being an investigation into Joe Biden. If that ever were to come out in any sort of legal framework, for example, if someone were to try to bring a case in a civil court and John Bolton's testimony there were to appear, would it make any difference to the situation that the president is in?
Most scholars believe that the president can't be tried criminally for his official acts. And so while he's in office, that is to say, so any such trial would have to occur after he left. I don't think that there will ever be a criminal prosecution of the president based on the events that led to his impeachment. And in fact, the House didn't allege that he had violated any crime, and that was one of the defenses the president used. I think, the timing of Bolton's book wasn't helpful to the president, but I think Republicans ultimately concluded it wasn't going to change the result of the case, and there was no need to drag it on.
Okay, Professor, just one more question, if you don't mind. What did you make, and is there any legal analysis of this particular situation that happened a few days ago? Alan Dershowitz, part of the defense team, standing there on the Senate floor saying that Trump putting his own interests first and using his official position to get reelected, Dershowitz said not a reason for impeachment because the president's interests are the same as the country's.
Yeah, I think, I have some sympathy for Professor Dershowitz. I think his remarks are being taken out of context. I think what he was saying is that politicians often make official decisions, not only with the public's interest in mind, but also their political interest. That is to say, if you vote for a bill, you're not only saying that you think it's a good idea, but you're also calculating how it'll affect your reelection chances. And I think that's all he was saying. And anyone who believes that a politician is only thinking about the public weal and not their own personal political fortunes, I think is naive.
Saikrishna Prakash, thank you so much indeed for joining us on TRT World.